Hello and welcome back to Blue Crescent Tarot. My name is Deanne and I am back again today to show you segment 2 of my tarot collection as part of hashtag Tarot Shelf. So this is my part 3, I think, if I'm keeping track. Part 3 of Tarot Shelf, Tarot segment 2. So this is going to be the rest of my tarot decks, and then I'll have 2 more parts for you, one for half of my oracle and the other one for the other half of the oracle. So parts 4 and 5 will be oracle segment 1 and oracle segment 2. So the other day we ended up getting through 48 decks in about 48 minutes. So the deal is sometimes I will just show you what it is. If it's in a bag, I will pop it open and show you what's inside. Might have a little bit of chatter about 1 or 2 of the decks here and there as we go through. Not literally 1 or 2, but 1 or 2 every so often, right? I might pass 5 or 6 by and then show you what's in one and do a little commentary here and there. But it's just kind of a quick flash of everything I have in my collection. My part 1 included Lenormand, cartomancy, fortune telling, astrology, things like that. So if you're interested, go back and watch the first 2. And without further ado, we'll get started on part 3. So first, we have here one of my Kelly Bear tarot pouches, which I super love. I bought this most recent sewing season from Miss Honey Bear on Etsy. You can check out that shop. You can also follow Kelly Bear on Instagram to get updates about when things are reloaded in her shop. So in here, we have the Rackham Tarot, which I knew, but again, wanted to show you since it was in a bag, and that's kind of the general rule for these videos. So this is very much story, fairy tale kind of artwork. This is all pre-existing work done by Arthur Rackham and then turned into a deck. So there's also an oracle that I'll be showing when we get to that part of this tarot shelf hashtag. But for now, wanted to show you these beautiful images that I love a lot. This is available mass market, pretty easy to come by, and of course fits beautifully in my little Kelly Bear pouch. So I'm interested to see, I never know the count until afterward when I go through and type them up for a list, because as most of you know, this is also the first time I'm recording and tracking my decks. So there's our first one, and I will try to find safe places to stack these when we're done. Okay, so here in the silver bag, we have the RWS 2.0 by James Rickliffe. This is available on Make Playing Cards. Love the coloration in this deck. It's just a really beautiful rendition of it. Smooth cardstock from MPC, and really this sort of, I guess I would call it like atmospheric coloring. I think it is really gorgeous. So if you are looking for something that is a little different from the traditional color scheme, then this is a great one to have. A little bit of different background colors and things that we, different from what we might normally see. Okay, then the Wildwood Tarot. I won't open this one up because, yeah, anyway, it comes with a big book, focuses on the Wheel of the Year, and is a really gorgeous and useful deck, especially if you're trying to focus on those markers around the wheel as a way to guide your practice. Then we have the Seventh Sphere. This is by Tina Gong at Labyrinthos. At this point, we've seen lots of these here in my collection. This is, so there are a couple versions of this deck. This one is the Marseille style. There is also an RWS style that I have and that we will be seeing in a while. This is a plastic deck, really thin, beautiful, shuffles well. So if you are looking for something like that, might be one you're interested in. Prisma Visions. This is one of my absolute favorites, and I have two others that go along with this collection that are still sealed, so I'll just show you one of these. I call this my bonfire deck because it's dark, but it has these beautiful like bonfire colors in it. That's what it always makes me think of. Really beautiful, and creates like a panorama in the when you line up all the cards in the suit. Just really beautiful, and like everything James R. Eads does, I love it. The Prism Tarot by Liz Landis. This was a Kickstarter I got last year, and it's sort of like a pastel, like Lisa Frank kind of feel to it. The people are crystal-y looking, and I love all the rainbow colors. I just think it's all gorgeous. Feels kind of otherworldly to me because the people are done in crystal. I mean, let's take a look at this death card. Isn't that amazing? So just to give you a little idea about that. I think we might have a little shadow going on here because of my overhead light just in the room. So hopefully it's working out okay, but I'm going to try to keep it out of that shadow line. So this is my only Baba Studios deck. I have a couple of their silk wraps, which are super beautiful, but this is really the only deck of theirs that I felt like I really needed. And thankfully, at the time that I came around to them, this was one that was available. So Mythical Creatures Tarot, and just to show you a couple of these. So Marseille style pips, I guess. It's a pip deck, but there's it's like a pip plus, right? So we have we have seahorses and these snaky kind of things around. So there are things that are filled in that give you more of an idea rather than just the symbols. And as you might have guessed, there's a mythical creature associated with each card. Love things like this because it gives me that added sort of like encyclopedia kind of knowledge about each one of the cards and characters. And so not only can you use this as a tarot deck, but you can learn about all the mythical creatures, right? Nice little theme deck, and something that I really enjoy using. Look at the backs. Amazing. Then we have the Lost Forest. This is one of my absolute favorites, but again, I say that about a lot of things. I'll just show you this one, 10 of Earth. It's dark but beautiful, and I think is very aptly named the Lost Forest. This also creates panoramic scenes, much like the Prisma Visions does. Lost Forest, first edition, majors only. This is currently my only majors only deck. I have another one on the way. I do take majors out of decks and use them as a majors only deck, but in terms of just purchasing one for that purpose, I had to get this one while I waited for the second edition Lost Forest to come out because that's how much I loved the artwork, and I had to have a little piece of it with me. Then, this is not the box that it comes in, but this is the Kawaii Tarot, and it comes in a bigger box, so I put it in a little gift box that my mom had given me. This is a very simple, symbols-based deck. It is Lenormandish to me, and I super love symbols decks, simple little things like this, and really had to have it. Plus, it showed a Romney spread in the book, and that was one of the very first things I started working on when I began my tarot study, but I didn't really know that that's what it was. So if you've been around here, well, you might have heard me say that. I did these big kind of storyboard spreads, and when I found out what a Romney spread was, I said, oh, that's kind of what I've been doing. So someday I will show you how to do that right here on the table. So there's my Kawaii Tarot. Then we have another little deck, my mini Carol Hertzer. When I showed this before, I kind of fumbled about, you know, saying that every deck is a one-off and that she makes them in her house, and that was kind of confusing because it's not like this deck. It's not like every single one is done that way, but this is called the Mystic Shadows. So she paints this. Here's the title card. I actually leave this in as a card. So paintings by Carol Hertzer, Mystic Shadows. So the name refers to the different color scheme. You can get different color schemes and sizes. You can check out everything that she has available on her site. And I believe she will still do like custom, not custom, but like you request, you know, a mini version of deck A, B, or C or whatever. So anyway, hand painted, but then, you know, she's not hand painting every single deck, hand painted, and then there are reproductions printed from this. So anyway, really beautiful deck. I bought this secondhand from my friend Jennifer King, and I'm super happy to have it in my collection as I've been wanting one for quite some time. Really beautiful. And this bag, I believe, came from Carol Hertzer as well, if I'm recalling correctly. Make sure that doesn't get bent in there. Okay. Then we have the Fountain Tarot. I won't get into this one because you can find lots of walkthroughs on it if you're interested. Of course, if you would like me to walk through it, I can do that as well. But I just don't know when. I'm due any day now with a baby, and so I'm just trying to get through these collection videos before I'm off the grid for a while. But this was a very sweet gift from my husband a handful of years ago for Christmas. The Lily Black Tarot, I really love this. It has a little witchcraft letter in it that I use for ritual. And let me just show, because I think usually when people are talking about it, the lily white kind of edges out in terms of people's favorites, but I really love this. And we're upside down. Just want to show you a few of these cards. And I do also have the lily white, and I love it. I think it was in part 1 video. Oh no, it's not. It's right here next in line. So anyway, just wanted to show you this and brag on it a bit because I think it is really beautiful. I love using the white and the black together in a reading for light and shadow, or just by themselves. And the lily white. These were pretty early on indie decks for me, actually, and just really in love with them. I'm picky about people in cards, and I love the depictions. Celia Millsville, I love her, the way that she draws people. So that's something that really drew me to this deck, aside from the fact that it's just absolutely gorgeous. The people were a big draw for me as well. Then we have, this video might have been the most difficult to get myself set up in because of the logistics and the stacks of everything around the room. Just in case you're wondering, there's a fun fact. So these two are sealed. This is the Light Visions by James R. Eads, and this is the Prisma Visions, I believe the 6th edition, the most recent one that was available along with the Kickstarter from the Cosma Visions Oracle. These are both sealed. This one, because I already have one that I use, I will open this up before too long, but I just didn't need it open right away. Light Visions I did not already have, so I added it on, and this is one that I've never opened and never used before, so I am excited to dig into that. Probably this coming summer when baby routine is kind of set. Then the Layla and Olive Ophidia Rosa Tarot. I do also have the Pythia Botanical Oracle. And just to show you, this is a very kind of like artsy botanical deck. I always say that the book is really poetic. The little, not book, but this little guide sheet. it's sort of, it's not a traditional system following RWS. So there might be some meanings that cross over, but this is very much like its own thing and probably not something that you want to use just as a one-off if you're trying to learn RWS. This is something that branches off and sort of becomes its own thing. The Starchild Tarot in the Aqua Box. I bought this secondhand for quite a pretty penny, and now it is back available. This version was out of print for the longest time, but it is now back. So that's okay. I really wanted it, and I'm happy to have bought it secondhand from someone. Was really lucky to find it. Some cards are different in this than the other Starchild or the Akashic version, and so yeah. Had to have it, was happy to have it, and I'm also happy now. So here's the Empress. This is the one card for me that I knew was different and that I really wanted. So yeah, good news for you is if this is something you've been waiting for, the Aqua Box is back in production. And then we have the Arcana Iris Sakura. This is another one by Tina Gong at Labyrinthos. You will have seen the astrology and I think Lenormand. Do I have both? Or there's Golden Thread Lenormand. Anyway, check out my Lenormand and astrology video for other decks that match this. I did actually open this one up because I didn't show the other one. It's pretty different, and I wanted you to be able to see a couple of the cards. So the star here, it's a thin, shorter, is it shorter? Let me grab. So here's like a standard RWS, and here's what the shape looks like against it, the shape and size. A little bit shorter, quite a bit narrower. So if you're looking for something that's sort of this size, that might be something to look for. So I pulled out Star, Moon, Sun, just to give you an idea, and then a couple others. Some things are renamed, as you can see, but then I also pulled some of the minors, so you get an idea. Ace of Wands, all of the minors, aside from the aces, have keywords as well, which I really sort of enjoy. So there you go. Give you a little idea of that one. Really beautiful, high quality cardstock. Again, just like everything that Tina does at Labyrinthos. Inner Hue. So this is going to be, if I can get it open. I do have the Connected and Free Oracle. This is called the Lumina. It always takes me a minute. I don't know why. Really beautiful deck. You can see these swords here as part of the forest. I love the artwork. I love the starry skies. Really, really beautiful deck. This one I believe is out of print, but you can get it in, maybe there's a French version that's available, something like that. And this could be back in print. I'm not really sure. I'm not in the loop, but I know for a long time it was out of print, but you could get that other version. So don't mark me on that. Just want to give you some notes and say, hey, maybe this isn't available. Beautiful Hermit card, different colors than what we usually see. You'll see some zodiac symbols popping up here and there. So yeah, some animal, some people. Really kind of cool. People have likened it to the Wild Unknown due to the style and color scheme. I could definitely see that, but it feels like a very different thing to me. Okay, then we have Dreams of Gaia Pocket Edition. I'm going to speed through some here. The Marguerite Peterson Tarot English version. You will have seen the burgundy box that I showed in video 1 of tarot. And that is the German version. This is English version. The burgundy one I showed was German. And I think there's an anniversary edition of this out now. My friend Orshi told me that the anniversary edition is back to like the wine colored box and borders. So there's another thing I always wanted, and ended up buying secondhand that's now available again. But again, totally fine, because when I'm on the hunt for something, that's just how it is. Luminous Void Tarot. I'm going to avoid opening this one up because I will go down the rabbit hole with it. This is really awesome. It's like an oval shaped deck. So look for some walkthroughs if you want to see what this one's all about. Then we have another Kelly Bear pouch. This has my Halloween tarot in it. This was sort of a pre-birthday deck that I bought for myself. This is a Kelly Bear Made Me Do It. She had a series on her channel back during Samhain going through the different suits of this deck. And it was one I was kind of on the fence about because I'm picky about how cartoony things are, but because this one, like, I love the ghost, just because of how this one was done, it could have gone either way for me, but I'm really happy to have it in my collection. I need a cute little Halloween deck, and I'm super lucky to have snagged up this perfect bag for it with the little haunted house and everything. So there's that, my Halloween tarot, and I really love the guidebook too. So that was another thing that kind of pushed me over the edge for that one. And just hearing Kelly talk about it and go through really helped me to pull the trigger as well. All right, we'll get our little haunted house set there. These are the regular and mini size of a Siren's Melody Tarot. I got these on Etsy a year ago in the fall, or this past fall, I can't really remember. I had an eye on them for a long time, and then they were on sale, and so I snagged them up. Different sort of deck, really beautiful, lush rose petal cardstock, though the mini is not rose petal. So if that's something that you either want or don't want, that's something to know. Yeah, different, beautiful, watery sort of vibe. So there's the regular and mini. I won't open up the little one because we're going to keep rolling through this. See what we can do. The velvet bag and the rose petal is a little tricky to kind of get together, but that's okay. Then we have the Majestic Earth. Gorgeous deck. I was lucky enough to get this on a second sale. This was something that was out of print for a while, and then every once in a while it comes back up on the shop. I'm trying to think what the name, oh yeah, ALO Publishing, AELLO Publishing.com, I think is where I get the emails from, things like that. MajesticEarthTarot.com. So I think ALO Publishing is where I saw the notification come through though. So anyway, not sure about the status of this one, but it is a beautiful deck. If you ever see it come up as like a reprint or a second sale, I highly recommend it. It's existing artwork, nature-based, and just gorgeous. Then we have The Nightmare Before Christmas. This one I either purchased secondhand or I received it as a gift. And I know, once again, my friend Jennifer King sent me a book about the film, the art, the vision of Nightmare Before Christmas movie. I know she gifted me that book, but I can't remember if I purchased this or she gifted it, whatever. Either way, happy to have this in my collection. Modern Witch Tarot. This one I used for the beginning of February, and now my daily draw for February, my daily deck is the Spacious Tarot. I did like a little half and half, or the week one was Modern Witch and the rest was Spacious because I was just kind of on the fence about it, but did have a lot of fun using this one. And I always say that this image like always stuck in my head and I always wanted this deck, and I finally got it probably 9 or 10 months ago. And the Spacious Tarot, as we had just talked about, my daily deck for this month. This is super beautiful. I won't get into it because I will just be chatting away. But this has no people. It puts you in the view as the person walking into the card, basically. Expansion pack is coming for this one, which includes elements and zodiacs, and I keep saying I need to check up on that, and I really need to do that because I love an expansion pack. Osho Zen Tarot. This was probably in my first 20 decks. When I first came on TarotTube, even just as someone who was watching other videos, this was kind of going around a lot and piqued my interest as something different and had to pick it up. Trying to carefully make stacks here. The Purple Triumph della Luna by Patrick Valenza. This was actually my first tarot deck by Patrick Valenza. I super love it. Comes with a beast pack and is just amazing. If you've been around here, you know that I was kind of on the fence about the Deviant Moon for a long time, and this is the one that kind of broke me into his tarot decks. I do super love Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle and some other things, as you probably know. But yeah, this one was so cool, I had to snag it up. Then the Zany Tarot. This is by our own Zane Hughes at Tarot Toke and Witchery. I super love this deck. It's a great modern take that Zane created. It is fun and cute, but meaningful and very usable. Zane has several things available on Make Playing Cards. There are Oracle decks, tarot decks, anniversary editions of decks. He has a couple newer things out. I have this tarot and an oracle. He has since done another tarot and oracle, so do check out Tarot Token Witchery at MPC to see what is available. Awesome stuff. And you can find in the Hermit's Cave the file for this image to put on your cover if you would like. It may also be available on MPC, but I'm just not really sure. But yeah, leave me a message if you're having trouble finding the file for the 10. Or a comment, I should say. Tarot Serene and Marshmallow Marseille by the Wandering Oracle. I love these decks. I have just a handful of more kind of modern pastel palette kind of Marseille decks. So yeah, I super love these a lot. Then we have Fairy Tarot Cards by Doreen Virtue. This is similar to the Angel Tarot cards I had shown. I will pop this open because it's full of, nope, I thought there were crystals in this one, but there's not. Oh yes, there are. So this one I've modified. I need to corner around it, but I've cut off all the titles actually and made it into a square deck. So probably I will be using this more like an oracle unless I go through and label what these were, but offhand I have no idea. I'd have to watch a video and mark them while I watch. But anyway, this was just a project I wanted to do. This was the first time I ever cut a deck and wanted to just see how it would go, and I knew that I wouldn't mind if this one got changed into an oracle, so that's what I went with. So this might eventually move to my oracle stack, but because this is set up like a tarot deck, 78 cards and all of that, I left it here to show you in the tarot section, and I have a bunch of my crystals in here helping to keep the energy of this deck good. Then what? Then we have the Starchild Tarot. This is the akashic version. I had shown you that aqua box here just a little bit ago. Then I think we're moving on to this little stack over here. So I have the Nicola Chicoli Tarot Mini. I did have another one of these, but I put it in my singles trade pile for the Allingmans group, where we trade individual cards to make what are called like magpie decks or Frankenstein decks. So this one, it came out in a better box, and so I put my original mini over in that trade pile. So I'm just counting this one. Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot Mini. I love this one because it has the borders. So this is what is affectionately known as the Dirty Pam, as coined by Kelly Bear, but this is the mini version, the original cardstock, not the thicker, glossy, borderless Radiant Wise Spirit that I showed you the other day. Basically, I love a mini deck. I'm happy to have this one with this coloration and with the borders. So I use this one a lot for client readings for year ahead spreads because it fits 12 right on the back of my Benabel Wen Metaphysician's Day Planner, which I super love. I don't always use this for year aheads, but it's great to just be able to sit on the couch and pull the cards, and they just fill up the back of that journal or planner, whatever you would like to call it. Okay, then, before I forget, these are tarot. This features women from, is it all literature? No, I'm thinking about other things. Let me just show you some. Ada Lovelace, I almost said Celia, but it's Clelia Mosher. Khadijah for the Knight of Pentacles, Gabriella Mistral, Anne Sullivan. So famous women throughout history: Joan of Arc, Helen Keller, Lozin for the Seven of Wands, Sojourner Truth, Mary Shelley, so on and so forth. So this is another what I call like encyclopedia deck, right? There's a layer, there's a theme. It comes with a big book. You can use it as a tarot deck, but also learn this whole other set of information along with it. Yeah. So just the little box got pulled out here. Our tarot, I got this from Schuler Books, I believe. The Antique Anatomy by Claire Goodchild of Black and the Moon. This is a newer acquisition for me. I was able to get the first edition, but then I also bought this one because this is the mass market, because it came with the guidebook. So I have a first edition of this as well, which we will see. Syrian Starseed Tarot. This is another one that I had attempted to modify and it did not go very well. I need to continue on with the project and corner around and do some things like that, and then I will maybe show you a walkthrough of this one. But I love the whole starseed vibe, and I love that there are orbs or spheres included in the deck. I'm not crazy about the depictions of the people, but again, I had to get this because of all those other little aspects that are of interest to me. And then the Yoga Tarot. This is the one deck that I mentioned sometimes that I am not 1000% in love with. I just haven't super felt the call to work with it, and it's very rare for me. I've used this before. I used it for client readings a few years ago. It just is the only one I've ever kind of been on the fence about. So I just have to say that because, again, normally I'm like, oh yeah, I can use that. I'm into that, whatever it is that I have chosen. Like I'll often say, even seeing something online, like I know if I'm gonna be in love with it or not. This was probably in my first 10 decks, and I bought this with a gift card that my dance students had gotten for me. Either that or the directors had gotten me. It was some kind of dance studio association. So the box looks kind of crazy because there's a bag and I've shoved that in there. This is actually worth about $300 open, and I've seen it going for $700 sealed. Yeah, basically this stays in my collection as a maybe someday I'll work more with this. Maybe someday when I can get into yoga practice, it will maybe have, a deeper meaning for me. Okay, I think I got all those stragglers from over there. This is the Samnia Tarot. This was, I think, my most recent because this was gifted to me just about a week ago by a lovely friend. And yeah, I will be eventually doing walkthrough and things like that, like I will be doing with many other decks, but it may be a while. Then we have my Veronica Jude Don't Panic Mini. So we saw the other one of these, the regular size, the other day. Again, Veronica Jude's amazing. She's a goddess. She created this deck, It has movable quartz, which means they're not labeled. You can do as you will with them. I plan to mark one and mark the bigger cards and leave the minis unmarked so I can use them as layers. Right now, I basically use it as an oracle because they are not marked with the card names, but it is 78 cards that she intentionally structured after the tarot with photos and quotes. Love, love, love. Available on Make Playing Cards, by the way. If there's something that I don't give you the creator name, or I don't say if it's available or where it's available, please leave me a comment and I will do my best to get back to you. We have the Moonlight Tarot by Anessa. If you've been around, you've seen this on my channel. I super love it. It's one of those taller, more narrow decks. Something that follows RWS enough, but it's also different enough to just be really intriguing to me. I have called this my soul deck. You can check out that video as well. Really awesome imagery. Okay. Sorry for the noise. It's part of the gig. Then we have, let's see, Kawaii Tarot box, which we've already looked at. So then, another Kelly Bear pouch. This was my first ever Kelly Bear pouch, and I super love it. And inside is my crown jewel, the idiosyncratic. This is super not available, but Jessica Bott is redoing this deck as a full bleed. You can follow the progress at the Cracked Amethyst on Instagram. This was one I searched for such a long time, and I was so happy to find it. Bought this secondhand from my friend Jennifer King. She is my hero. I'm so happy to have this deck. Just love it. And I will be getting the new version as well by Jessica Bott or J Bott or the Cracked Amethyst. So when you're searching, those are the names that you can find her under out in social media land. Okay, there's that one. Then we have the Moon Baby Tarot by Brant Palazzo. You can catch Brant at Moon Baby on TarotTube on YouTube. So yes, this is a recoloration of the Hoi Polloi from way back in the day, and it's beautifully done, and I really, really love it. It was my daily deck for November, I think that's right. Pagan Otherworlds. Wanted this for a long time, finally got it about a year ago, super in love with it, made in Michigan just like me. Tarot of the Abyss, gifted to me by my sweet friend Chris Kelly McFadden at the Elemental Cartomancy. It's not what it's called. Elemental Cartomancy. His channel is amazing and you should check him out. Oh, and this deck is by Anatorian, if you didn't know that. This is mass market, beautiful, really deep, meaningful deck. Antique Anatomy Tarot Ephemera Edition. This is that first edition by Claire Goodchild. Recently came into my collection and I'm in love with it. New Choice Tarot de Marseille by Rosario Salerno. The New Voice Tarot is also coming out, which is an RWS, whereas this one obviously is a Marseille. Beautiful deck. This was, I believe, my first Marseille. It was either this or the Marshmallow. Again, those softer colors, and this one is amazing. It is based on the underground fashion scene of Berlin. There's also a flower associated with each card, and the meanings of those botanicals are given in the guidebook. Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation Edition by Benabel Wen. This is my first Benabel deck, though you know I get her Metaphysicians Day Planner every year. This is my third year of getting that. This deck is amazing and beautiful and packed full of information. I am so happy to really dive into this when I have the time, but obviously going to be a few months after baby arrives before I can do that. This is my original 1986 Mythic Tarot. I bought this for an amazing deal secondhand from one of the Facebook tarot groups. Again, I like to say not Facebook Marketplace, but pages that are dedicated to tarot, oracle, buy, sell, trade. Okay, I've never seen a legitimate deck on the regular Facebook Marketplace, just so you know. Please don't buy them from there. If anything says it has a QR code, it is not legit unless it's coming from the creator's site and they say, hey, I'm the creator, here's a QR code, but that's really rare. And if you have questions, just let me know. 1986 Mythic. The Wooden Tarot. As you know, I have Lenormand and Oracle decks by the same creator, Andrew Schwartz. You can find his work at skullgarden.net. Amazing stuff. The Way Home Tarot. This is amazing. It's one of my absolute favorites. I use it a ton. I've shown it before, but I just want to show you something. Here's the Three of Wands. There we go. Just so beautiful. I love it. It's thin and slippery. If you want to riffle, this is a deck for you. And of course, if you like the way it looks. Here we have the Seventh Sphere. This is going to be the RWS version of the Seventh Sphere. I had shown you that green box earlier. So here we have RWS imagery added in. The majors are essentially the same. I do have a walkthrough, a side-by-side of this plus the free version that came with the Barnes & Noble exclusive book. So when you bought the book, the exclusive bit is that you got the bordered version of this for free. That is over in my trade pile for the Alliance group because I knew I was going to be getting this lush plastic version. But yeah, there you have it. I do have a side-by-side. I misspoke. I have a side-by-side of the majors. No, I'm sorry. I have a side-by-side of this RWS against the Seventh Sphere Marseille style so that you can see that essentially the majors are the same with a couple little differences, but then I show you how the minors are different. That is what I have a video of. So please feel free to check that out if that is something that interests you. But these are just beautiful, and I knew I had to have the RWS version of it as well. Chakra Healing Tarot by our own Malamir Logan. You can find Malamir on Facebook, on Instagram, and I do think she does some shorts on YouTube as well. I'm not going to crack into this because I have plans to show a few of my chakra decks together. So I'm going to save this, but it's beautiful. If you're interested in chakra work and color associations, things like that, please do check this out. This probably is my Winter Weight. This is Winter Weight 2018. It's my favorite color scheme out of all of the available options. And I love the magic, nostalgic snowiness of it. I use this during the winter holiday season. Like, look at that. Just amazing. Love this deck. I'm trying to think of where this comes from. Tarot Collectibles, I think. Gosh, I could be wrong. Golden Thread Tarot by Tina Gong at Labyrinthos. It's beautiful. Check it out. Voyager Tarot. This is one that is more recent into my collection. Again, a secondhand purchase I made from a friend. This is a free bag that I got along with decks that I purchased secondhand. And it has, yes, I don't know what this deck is called. flora and fauna or something like that. Gosh, I printed a book from Lulu that goes with this, but I don't have the name of it right now, or the creator or anything. Isn't that awful? Oh, I'm sorry. I will try to find it and put it in comments, but here are the backs. And I will find that little book and post it in comments so you know. Oh, goodness. See, you never know what you're going to get from secondhand purchases, like a free bag. Isn't that the cutest? Okay. I'm going to stack this somewhere. Running out of room, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. The Wild Unknown Tarot. This is, I believe, the first edition indie version. This was one of my very first tarot decks, and I'm super in love with it. I currently run an archetype series using the Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, so you can check that out. There are lots already done, 30 or so videos, and you can find those in a playlist on this channel. Star Spinner Tarot. Super beautiful, pretty unique, something I just really had to have. I'm going to avoid getting into it because I will go down the rabbit hole. The beautiful Spolia Tarot, second edition. This is one of those things that is usually out of print, and sometimes it pops back up on the site. So this is by spoliatarot.com. That's where you can find site information and deck information. Beautiful collage deck. Not something I'm always into, but this one really grabbed me. And the Anima Mundi Tarot. This is so amazing. I love this deck. I have the Oracle that is considered its sister deck. Not going to get into it because I will talk forever. So now I'm looking around trying to decide if I've shown you everything. I think I have. Okay. Checking the shelves behind me. All right, kids. I think that's it. I think that's all the tarot decks. We are at about 47 minutes, so I wonder if that was about the same amount as the other day. I'm going to type up my list. Oh, there's one thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a single card from the deck that was made for me. It's not quite a tarot because it's not 78 cards, okay? But here's an example of one. This was painted by Jennifer Medler. Her name is now Jennifer Miller, her married name. You can find her artwork at Jennifer Jean Designs. And this card here is the 2 Arrows of Strength. I chose this because it was just on top of my stack. I will be doing a full walkthrough of this deck. Someday I'm going to write a guidebook for this deck, and it will probably be available for purchase on Make Playing Cards, the deck. And then, I don't know, I'll set up, PDF or something if people would like the book I'm writing to go with it. That's a someday project. I'm just saying it here and putting it out into the universe. But my very dear friend Lauren had this commissioned for me for my birthday handful of years ago, and I'm super in love. The backs all have this design, but they're different colors, and yeah, just amazing. So I want to make sure this ends up in my count as well, so I wanted to show you that bit of beauty. And now I think I'm really done. Okay, next I will be back hopefully within the next couple of days with part 1 and 2 of Oracle, which will be Tarot Shelf parts 4 and 5. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Sending you lots of love, and I hope you have an awesome week.